Well, yeah, today we're going to talk about living alone and all of the shit stuff and good stuff.
Yeah, because we both kind of currently live
Live
alone.
alone, yeah.
Yeah, on our own. Actually, no, I don't. What the fuck am I
Oh
talking about?
shit.
I used to. That's why I'm saying that I live alone. Cause
You have a roommate though. It's a bit different from living not alone.
Exactly. I mean, before that, for years I lived mainly alone. So that's why, still in my mind, that's interesting. I never thought about it. Still in my mind, I'm kind of living alone, even though for the past year and something I'm having a roommate.
What
So,
made you have a roommate? I don't think it's financial reasons.
Uh, no, I don't think so. But mainly, I think the social aspect. Just I was maybe tired of living alone. Also, it was a little bit about pure coincidence, because yeah, my roommate was who is a friend of mine. He was looking for an apartment, and I was kind of tired of living in my shitty apartment.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, let's try to see if we can find a good apartment, and we did.
Yeah, I remember you were looking for a new apartment. Yeah,
For
pretty long.
several weeks. Yeah, which is a lot of time. I mean, if you are working and doing other stuff, it's difficult to find the time every night to after work maybe to go and check apartments. It's time consuming.
Yeah. But you lived alone most of your life.
Yes, since I came back from university, I started living alone.
And why you decided to live alone? Like you never considered even.
Because when I moved to the city, to this city, I didn't know anyone, and I didn't want to live, or at least take the risk to live with an unknown person, and maybe take the risk of living with the person that I wouldn't be cool with living with. It's still a big risk. I mean, you're gonna go together, and I mean, you're gonna have a good quote unquote kind of relationship, but maybe it's gonna be awful, and you're gonna be fighting about basic stuff every single day.
Yeah, this reminds me of something.
Yeah, past experiences.
My last roommate was my ex.
Oh, I get it.
That was the joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, what were the good stuff about living alone in general for you?
For me, well, I think we should start with the fact that generally speaking, throughout the years, I've been very close person. I'm very introverted. So living alone is very kind of peaceful for me.
Convenient.
Convenient, absolutely. Just you have that peace of mind. You don't have to deal with anyone. You can fully decide on your own how you're going to live. You don't have to bother to dealing with other people, explaining to other people. So that was absolutely the main idea why I decided to live alone. Yeah, I think you should see how you can approach it, because for me it's a huge advantage. But if you're an extroverted person, that would be a downside.
Maybe that's actually worse.
Oh, it's absolutely worse. But for me it was fantastic. For many years it was absolutely amazing. I especially after
you never felt lonely or sad?
Very rarely. I wouldn't say never, because of course I'm not like
but
some
that's
robot,
very good answer. I mean, very rarely. That's already people that live not alone can brag about this if they are very rarely, feeling lonely.
I think it comes to how do you perceive the loneliness. For example, something that if you're an extroverted person, something that you could consider loneliness, for me it would be a normal day-to-day life.
Okay, that's a good point.
Especially after I used to study in Italy, and I had 3 roommates.
Oh shit.
So to switch from first living with your parents clearly during high school, and then living with three random people, basically.
Yeah.
For me, it was a huge
Amazing.
pleasure
I guess,
to go live
I had the
alone.
same, but I was at university. Second year, I think I switched to living alone in a dorm.
Oh,
I
wow.
was in a room. There was a room. I had a mattress on the floor,
Sure.
and that was it. That was basically, I had a table and a chair.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Was
a
that the
sink.
mattress that you tried to sell?
Yeah, I
at,
sold it actually.
Oh, good, good.
I sold it immediately in the same block of the dorm that I
Wow.
used to live. Yes, I remember. You know what? I just recalled everything. So before I sold the mattress, I think you texted me recently before I actually
think
started
so.
selling it,
I think so.
and we went to meet in a park.
Yep.
Yes, and I sold the mattress before I went to meet you.
I remember you were keeping
Amazing.
it not even in your apartment anymore. You were keeping it in someone else's apartment.
Yes, in the same block or something like this.
Yep.
Yeah, and I sold it in the group of the block that was people were living in it.
Sure.
Obviously, people wanted to buy it because mattresses in the dorm were awful, and imagine delivered directly in your place.
Of course.
Because it's there. I didn't sell it much. Like I put like rare,
Just some
small price.
random small price.
Yeah, because I didn't need it. It's a one bed mattress.
You've always been good with selling stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't recall a single item that you've tried to sell and you couldn't sell it.
Check the description below for my digital marketing agency.
Sure.
Time to sell stuff
Yeah.
in this podcast. But yeah, I mean, I lived there kind of alone. It's like similar to this shit right now. I could hear someone entering the door, but I never saw these people and never communicated most of the time. So it was relatively good.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had my life much better after living with someone that I don't know and I don't like.
Yeah.
Because it was awful experience. I remember literally being so depressed. I was like, because you have no personal space. I used to live in a village where like you have your own room, you have a field, so you can go scream whatever. Sure. And apparently you're in a dorm with 3 people now.
Yeah.
And this person makes a party and there are 10 people and it's like, what the fuck? It's a cultural shock as well. And in general, living in a big city, considering this, I moved from living in a village with 2,000 people to 2 million.
Of course.
Of people town. And it's much worse than from moving, I guess, from like a few thousand at least. I mean, 100,000.
300,000, 400,000.
Yeah, at least like that. Then you don't feel that shocked. But no. I was so... now I realize this. But before I was like, what's happening? I'm just... I want to eat stuff and just forget about life and kill myself. And yeah, that's it. And all goals, I was so active and like... relatively I hoped like I had some hopeful future for myself, and this all crashed. I thought I have no future. Wow. I'm so bad and I will die here alone. I had such a bad thoughts, like maybe it was just depression that you can name it, but I don't know, it was so bad.
Well, also
and living alone saved me.
Wow, really?
That's where I was leading this because first 2 years I lived with some roommates, maybe first year and a half or something.
Yeah.
And after I just decided, fuck it. And I went to the dorm lady and I just said like, okay, I need a separate room or I'm filing, I don't know, some big claim that there's some crazy shit happening in my place, like blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
I was aggressive already because I didn't want to live in this. And yeah, it happened pretty fast. I found for a day I relocated.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Jesus.
Once you threaten a person
must have been a serious threat, like
No, it was
a
actually.
believable threat.
I
more
think it was believable because that was actually truth. Just I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
You know, when you threaten someone that they're dealing with some weird stuff, and I will report you, and they get scared, but without actually, didn't really know I was bluffing.
Again, you sold it very well. You're good with selling stuff, either physical stuff or ideas or just a threat in this case.
Yeah, living alone. I'm selling living alone right now.
Yeah.
This saved my life. I told you the storytelling line, and now there is time for actually
Sure.
saying, you know,
Yeah.
living alone is the best decision you can make in your life. But it's not always true.
No. I guess it's. Did you make? Did you feel that? How should I phrase it? Not being able to come home to a secure place. Did it
When
make
I
you
lived with
feel-
someone, or
No, when you lived with other people, especially during your university years, did it make you kind of want to stay outside for a longer
Yes.
periods of time? Maybe, I don't know, in the library or something.
I didn't have library, and I didn't go to the university.
Good.
So
You-
when
you
I
were a
had
fantastic student.
when I nah. First year I went, but after I realized it's bullshit, and
Wow.
I realized it's bullshit before even going to first grade. I just had my hopes up for the education level, but it was also shit. So at the end, it was just a waste of time. But I was just walking around the city most of the time.
Yeah.
Just randomly walking and maybe sitting, buying coffee or something. The same I do now, but
I was about
nothing
to say,
has
I didn't
changed.
want to interrupt. I was about to say that's what we do now, like on our days off, or even when
Yeah.
we have to work from outside. Yeah.
I was all day outside. But once I started living alone, I was actually the opposite. I stopped going anywhere. I lived on this mattress. I lived pretty bad life because I was smoking, like drinking, having some
Wow.
weird, depressive lifestyle.
What were you drinking?
Alcohol.
I mean, yeah, clearly. What types of alcohol?
What was it? I mean, I wasn't actually drinking too much. I was drinking a lot of Coca-Cola Zero. That was like,
You said it was alcohol.
wait, but this was the main thing I was drinking. And sometimes I remember buying a bottle of martini. I was 17. No one gives a shit about that I was 17 and I looked like 12 because I was living in a student city where no one gives
Just to
a shit.
confirm, I've seen pictures. You really looked like you were 12.
And imagine me buying martini. No one even asks me about
For
my
an
age.
ID.
Even now in Ukraine, everyone asks me for an ID, but here no one asks
Wow.
for an ID.
Even during the war, people were like, I'm not
Yeah.
sure if I should sell you.
Alcohol is forbidden after 9 p.m.
What?
during war.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
You know, you can't. And 9 a.m. is the starting point when they sell alcohol. So I couldn't buy. What the fuck? I wanted to buy it in the morning, like 8 something. And I couldn't because it's war.
Wow.
And it's
Crazy.
like this civil time where
Sure,
you
sure,
have to be inside and other rules like that. I don't know, what was it like. Oh my god, I arrived with the bus and like I went to the supermarket. I wanted to buy coffee and something else, and they couldn't sell me like the other thing. I don't remember what it was. Like it was something I thought yes, a fucking cider.
Oh, well. Yeah,
Apple cider.
Yeah.
And I couldn't buy it.
I mean, people think that a cider is like
A regular drink.
Barely like an alcohol.
No,
mostly.
it's-
No, it's
it's like a beer.
It's like a beer. It's like, yeah, same thing.
Yeah, but I didn't even consider it as an alcohol.
Yeah.
And I was so surprised, like, okay, yeah, it's still 9 a.m. or something, but you can buy it, yeah. That's a tough time. But, yeah, let's not talk about this. 'Cause
Sure. So alcohol helped you during your times of living alone.
I just recalled being, like, not myself. But I don't know if it was alcohol or I was just depressed because I was just so sad, constantly like smoking these cigarettes, like being unhappy in general.
Yeah.
And I kind of connected with the alcohol because that's when I usually drink more. But no, I don't think I drank like I couldn't afford it. Come on. I was a fucking student. I could afford the Coca-Cola Zero 2 liters of bottle and drink it for at least 3 days. So
And the martini though.
I bought it once. It was on discount. Don't judge. Yeah, it was disgusting, by the way. I bought also this olives that you put inside, and
like how since you were young you wanted to be like do the things the proper way. Yes,
I lived on the mattress having fucking
with a fancy martini
God.
cocktail.
Yeah. That's that's all about me.
And I was thinking about it now that when I used to live alone, I would almost never drink at home. I don't know, I never liked the idea of sitting at home alone and drinking.
Yeah.
But now that I have a roommate, I do it much more often.
Oh, no.
Much more often. And
I have no problem about drinking alone, but
yeah.
No. I can make myself fancy dinner and pour a glass of wine. Or not a glass of wine, but a glass of whiskey or something like that.
Wow.
I have no problem with that. Because I grew up in a village where it was a lunch thing.
Yeah.
You drink it at the lunch, you drink it for dinner.
This is funny that you always... Yeah, this is so much true. You start drinking from a very young age.
I mean,
Probably
I didn't start drinking. I actually
something.
hated alcohol. And... I even about smoking, by the way, I thought I have allergy for the smoke smell.
Really?
Because I still get this suffocating feeling when I smell someone else smoking. Like I get this, I can breathe.
Interesting.
But I can smoke.
Much more interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. This is, a lot of allergies are actually psychosomatic thing.
Yep,
so it's like I had this with cats. I heard a story as a kid about a cat that made someone sick from the hair of the cat.
Yep.
The kid inhaled it somehow and it went somewhere and it started growing. I don't know what the fuck I heard. But I started from this point being afraid of this cat hair.
Wow.
Until I was like at the age of probably 20 when I rationalized it in a way that no, it's not possible. Everyone would be sick from it.
Of course.
Just as a kid I was like so inspired, like let's say inspired,
almost traumatized
absolutely
by the story.
And I was getting this not rash on my skin, but like a suffocating feeling from it, and I wanted to wash my face, wash my hands, like remove all the hairs. Yeah, now I love kitties. This is my favorite animal. Sure. And this is weird. I had this ever. But the first time when I got the kitty, I had this still. Yeah. But the love to the kitty, I guess, figured it.
Made you overcome the fear. Yeah.
Anyway, I smoked a lot, so it was like a waste of my life, to be honest. I remember these years, like 4 years
Living
at university.
Was a waste of your...
No, like in general, these years when I studied at university, such a waste. Maybe last year of university, I was already like, okay, I graduate. I don't worry about this. So I started thinking about something else. But this was like a period when I studied. I was thinking, oh fuck, I have time, like to waste. Because I study. I have excuse. I study. I actually know. Like I had to start what I was planning to do much earlier. But again, people around me weren't exactly the same people as now. And I didn't have, for example, I had ideas. I was the same, like, ambitious and stuff. But I didn't have people, when you say ideas, no one usually addresses anything.
Responds positively.
I had this idea to make news website, like to make the cool stuff, like doing channel and stuff like that. But
This
comes
is
and
true about
goes.
you that you are very kind of impatient person, and obviously studying at the university for 3, 4, 5 years, it requires time. It requires patience. So it's not unless it's something very very structured that you see the exact path.
Yeah, and
example,
you
if
see
you
the
were,
progress, you see where you develop, what areas you
Yes,
improve,
yes.
because this was a waste of time because of that. It wasn't good
Yeah, I
knowledge.
can clearly see how university wouldn't work for you unless you were studying, I don't know, medicine or something.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
something
constantly
more.
busy with, with
Yeah.
something. Uh,
When I have nothing to do, I'm dying from inside. Literally, I cannot live without work. Work, or in general being busy, like, makes me the person that I am. I don't know, whatever, but yeah, this is definitely not good. Good period, because I wasn't busy with something important.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
Well, then again, you were 20 years old or 21, whatever the age might have been.
so you were overall, we were just covering this about living alone, and you are saying that you were mostly happy about it.
I certainly was.
And what about now having a roommate?
I am again happy.
But not more
I'm
or
living
less.
with the right person, with the person that I don't know. We kind of match together when it comes to being roommates. We're very direct and very kind of comprehensive. If I do something stupid, he would tell me, or so it's a different experience, but it's still a positive experience if you're kind of having
But
the
would
right
you
roommate.
continue living not alone?
For example, if tomorrow he comes and tells me, hey, I bought an apartment, I'm moving to my new apartment, I would probably be living alone again.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
'cause
be
it's not with a
searching
random
for
person.
random people to live with.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, always price and costs of living are things to be taken in consideration, but I would be much more willing to spend more to have a peace of mind while living alone
Yeah.
than to save some money and be miserable.
Yes, that's why.
I mean, it
was
doesn't need
like-
to be like. I mean, I'm making it sound worse than it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, I got it.
Unless you're living with some fucking monster.
Well, I mean, depends. If you don't see each other very often, if it's like, for example, like here, for example, I live alone. It's my apartment,
Yeah.
my personal space, my shower,
Yeah.
everything. But I still hear people entering the door
Sure.
because it's a kind of separated apartments. And this, I think some people have similar experiences when they live with a roommate, maybe. They just have this similar area. Maybe the kitchen, though, is not your...
Yeah, of course, the
on
kitchen
your
is the
own.
common area, and
Oh, no, yeah, that's bad. No, I wouldn't let anyone on my kitchen.
my kitchen.
Bad experience. No, but I lived... So, yeah, coming back to this, that I lived most of my life not alone. I lived in a dorm a bit alone, but
Yeah,
let's say it was alone because I never communicated with my roommates.
sure.
And after I started living with my ex-boyfriend, so we started living as a roommates, actually.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I remember.
yeah, you have potential with your roommate.
No.
I just had to say this joke again.
Sure.
But yeah, I lived with him, and I was not really happy to be a roommate like this.
Yeah.
Because you have to... Everyone should keep their responsibilities, like about cleaning, about, I don't know, inviting people, doing some stuff.
Of course.
It's a common area place, especially if there is this common area. To me, this is like the... it wasn't very positive experience, I don't know. And now, then I can compare. I live alone, I have my kitchen to myself, and I feel much better because no one throws like dirty dishes where I don't want to see them. I can clean the kitchen without thinking about how potentially someone else should have cleaned it. You know. So it's much better just because I am responsible. I'm the only person responsible for this, so I don't expect someone else to do it.
Yeah.
This is gave me so much nerves about this, like about these responsibilities.
Do you find yourself cleaning more or less than when you lived with your boyfriend?
More.
More?
Absolutely, yeah. I just, maybe this place also doesn't get that dirty. Maybe I clean the same amount of time, just it doesn't get that dirty because I live alone and I don't make it that dirty, obviously.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it feels cleaner, but I don't really make it like cleaner. I think I clean maybe the same.
For the people that are listening, actually here it's a complete mess. She's lying. It's so dirty. I've never seen a dirtier apartment.
Thanks.
Yeah,
you can see this stuff, like I can't remove them. I have to have a special tool.
The spider webs?
Yes. Yeah. That's the only thing I can't really clean. I don't know how to do it, like remove a spider webs.
I'll buy you the right thing.
It should be the fluffy long thing, right? I loved it as a kid. Oh my god. I just played with it, around, like touching my face with it, like
that. I don't think it's a great idea.
I know. Who cares?
We were kind of talking about earlier that I don't know, when you live alone in today's age, with the constant access to either television or internet or both, are you actually living alone? Because I'm not convinced.
That's so true.
I don't think that you're really living alone. Yes, physically there's no one around you, but there's constantly someone, quote unquote, talking to you, either YouTube or music or television. So I'm not perfectly convinced that it's the same as if you were living alone, I don't know, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 50 years ago.
Kind of makes it easier for people.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I mean, for a long time, I remember even when I was a kid, my parents would, for example, my father would come home from work and he would maybe start cooking something, or even my mother.
Your father cooked?
Yeah, both of them. I mean, whoever comes first, I guess. Usually my mother. But they would turn on the television just so that they could hear something, just so that someone could. Yeah, they would be cooking. They wouldn't be actively listening to whatever it's on the TV, but just so that they can have something to listen to. That's a huge difference.
Oh, I love the silence, but I can't because I anyway hear my neighbors. So even if I play a music, I play it just to layer on the noise.
Wow.
Because I love the quiet, actually.
Really?
Yeah. When I work, especially the music, especially recently. That's why I can't work in the coffee shops anymore, I feel like. Because I have to put the music on so I don't get like distracted from the noise.
Of course.
But the music makes me distracted. I constantly get into this, even if it's like no words, like if it's some just normal focus music. I don't know, it feels like a fucking noise.
I have the same experience at the gym. So I would much rather prefer to not listen to anything, have full silence, than to listen to the gym's music or other people kind of screaming even when they're lifting weights. So it should be either me listening to nothing or me listening to my own music or a book or whatever it is. Why does it sound always pretentious when you're listening to book? Oh, I listen to books.
Well, you are listening to books, so
it somehow sounds, at least in my mind, it sounds.
No, it doesn't. Actually, to me, it sounds bad because you can't read them.
Yeah, this is true.
Most of Eastern European would say, like, "What? Are you listening to books? You're not reading."
What does it even mean?
Can you read? Are you blind? That's why I listen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, depends on the context, I guess.
Yeah, I remember when I used to live alone. I tried for no exactly I don't remember how much time, but maybe a year, approximately a year. I tried to live without internet, and
Oh
also
shit!
I never
This
had
is
a
so
TV.
weird.
It is, but I don't know. It's not as bad as it sounds. It sounds like crazy. Oh my goodness, what were you doing all day? I don't know. You find stuff to do.
Do you have
You read more.
mobile? Did you have mobile internet?
No,
Shit.
I don't think so. No. I
Now
didn't.
that's because for me, okay, no Wi-Fi, fine, I can share.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I would kind of cheat, to be honest, because I would maybe download a podcast.
Oh yeah,
So
that's
I would have
completely cheating. Downloading a book.
or you can read the physical book. I mean, that's still kind of cheating.
But what you were supposed to do? Are you putting yourself in jail and no
just,
communication?
because you tend to get distracted. Or, for example, I would almost get addicted to YouTube. Constantly listening to stuff. It's like, Jesus Christ, can you have a peace of mind not listening to something?
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, embrace
This is
your
actually
emotions.
good kind of practicing when you live alone. Because it's very convenient. You can do it when you live alone. When you live with someone, other person can turn on the TV, like can do some stuff, and you can still consume information like
this is true, but practically speaking, I mean, to be honest, even now that I have a roommate, it's not like we see each other 20 hours a day.
Yeah.
We barely see each other some days. Because, I don't know, throughout
That's
the day I'm
so
working from
weird to
home,
me,
he's
by the
working
way.
from the office, then I will go to the gym, he would come back. Sometimes we barely see each other.
Yeah, that is so weird. Because when I lived with my ex, it was similar sometimes. Like we could be in the same apartment, but not see each other. Like I could be in my room, and yeah, it's crazy. But everyone needs their own space, so no judgment.
Sure.
I enjoyed this time. So I actually I didn't enjoy it completely all the time, because I'm still getting freaked out from some noises that come from the door or something like this. I fucking imagine monsters at night before falling asleep like a fucking child.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I open my eyes to check if there is a monster under my bed.
Under the bed.
Yes, I'm checking everything.
In the closet.
Fucking crazy.
In the bathroom.
I'm looking around like, turning on the light, even if it's not visible without the light, but usually it is.
But then again, when you go take a shower, you leave the door open.
So I can see everything happening.
So you
so
can
no
see
one...
someone coming.
Yes. Otherwise, what the
Isn't
fuck?
it better to lock the door?
No, it's not.
Wouldn't you feel much safer if you just...
No, but imagine you're opening from a shower, you're going out and someone attacks you immediately. That's worse than knowing that someone is coming and you are in the shower already.
Then you would be perfectly safe, ready to embrace the danger.
I think it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're anyway fucked. But yeah, I imagine monsters. That's why I never watch scary movies and stuff, because I get so freaked out from anything. As a kid, I don't know if these channels I watched, this is so freaking scary. I still remember this, like fake documentaries about aliens invading the planet.
Oh, those are my favorite ones.
These fake scientists making making research on I don't know, Egyptian stuff,
fantastic.
pharaohs, like stuff like this. And after the crime TV show that was like
the crime
documentaries about the serial killers, always how they made him, how they found him, how much he killed, how he killed, everything
now,
was visualized.
Even now you don't watch crime documentary? No?
Never would watch it. I tried, for example, there was this Last of Us, the one that is now very trendy on HBO. I tried. I feel like it's getting nowhere. I just get like thinking about stuff that I don't want to think about, and that's it. It's not exciting to watch it even.
But are you getting scared? Or scared?
This specifically, I just get disgusted from this fucking, how it's called, like this.
To be honest, I haven't seen it, so I have no idea.
These are the people that turn into monsters, like how it was called, like zombies. So they are showing these zombies, and it's just disgusting to watch it. Why the fuck I have to watch it? People die in wars, and I see these pictures, and I have the same feeling. Like, and people that die are not zombies; they're real people.
Yeah.
Why I should experience the same thing emotionally,
of course,
intentionally?
Yeah.
Like a fucking war is happening. I can have enough of dead people, aside from the TV show, you know.
Sure.
So to me, this is just like feeding your brain with some bullshit like that. Maybe some people are less sensitive to it.
It's interesting that from what I understand, what I hear, girls are more interested in these TV crime documentaries, even about real stories, real serial killers. They love them. They fall asleep while watching these.
Oh yeah, I watched memes about this, like watching documentaries about this. I watched as a kid because there was nothing else to watch. There was one channel, so I had to watch it. But after I grew up, I understood. No, I even I sometimes was watching recently, like something about the serial killer or something, and I got actually freaked out, like, from this shit. Because I got everything, like, seriously.
Yeah.
And this is not funny, like, to me, to watch it for fun. I get just so involved with everything happening there. Like, I just start to visualize everything and
Sure.
things
Getting
like
emotionally involved. And
oh, no. Don't let me even know that there is a serial killer in Sofia. Like, I would be afraid to go out.
Wow.
No way. I don't want to know. I would prefer, like, dying from it directly. Yeah, living alone is like this. You get like because I'm this type of person.
Yeah.
I hear noise behind the door, like, or next to my window, like wind is blowing. I don't know, whatever, and I get freaked out. I check everything. Sometimes I'm so anxious. I get like I try to get sedate myself. Like, I don't know, read a book, get distracted, do something. Drink.
Of course.
Just turn off my brain from working like that, because I'm super anxious. Like, I'm is it anxious? I don't know. It's just being. Yeah.
I'm happy that you're not living in my old building where we used to have a homeless guy sleep on the stairs.
Oh no.
Yep. Sometimes you would go out.
But wait, was he friendly? He was homeless. If it's homeless,
first of all, he was a big fucking guy.
Oh,
he was a big guy. Maybe, I don't know, how tall would he have been?
Shit.
190, something like that. A
big,
tall guy, even a big guy, not just tall, a big guy. And he would get drunk because he would say, being drunk helps me not feel the cold.
Oh yeah, sure.
So he would
BS.
sometimes you would come home late at night, maybe around midnight, even after midnight. He would be absolutely passed out on the stairs. And,
I would get freaked out. Like, if I didn't know there was a person on the stairs, I would be like.
I remember there was no elevator at our floor, so you would have to take the stairs. My neighbor in front of me, who was this Greek girl, she was studying medicine.
Yeah.
And one time I met her and she was like, yeah, actually I usually take the elevator to the 3rd floor and then I take the stairs down to our floor, the 2nd floor, so that I could avoid the stairs.
Need the guy?
Yeah, she was so scared, poor girl.
Oh no.
So I'm very happy you didn't live in that building.
Oh my god.
And it's a common experience, by the way. I discovered that
living some neighbor, like having homeless.
I've heard much worse.
But my entrance is like monitored 24/7, and they're even writing notes, like if someone keeps the door too much open or something like this.
Yeah. And still, someone stole the fucking paintings.
Yes.
If you're the guy listening to this and you're the guy that stole the fucking painting, please be a
Return
kind person,
it.
return the fucking painting. It's not even an expensive
That's
painting.
not cool. Our whole building is freaked out from it.
Yeah.
It's not related to the homeless living in there, but still, I mean, it's unusual. But the street I live in is pretty scary at night.
It
I
is.
take
It's very dark.
Yes, I take a scooter, like this, not scooter,
Yep,
but
yep,
this thing when I'm coming home late. And I feel like it's more safe than a taxi, actually, sometimes.
Why?
I don't know, I don't trust taxi drivers.
I understand.
Even
Some of them are
though
creeps.
I am in this, but that's because, actually, additionally, because I use this app, I get always charged less and people are so nice. And I'm suspicious to do it at night, to order a taxi, because I will
Yeah.
be like, they know something.
Yeah,
Why they're so nice to me? Why they charge me less?
Yeah.
Every fucking time they charge me less. And I give them tips on top, so it's weird.
How do
Maybe
you know
there
that
is
they charge you
inner...
less? I mean, you arrive.
I mean, maybe it's actually the app that makes it look like they
But
charge me less.
The app.
The app
gives
tells
you
me
an
the...
approximate amount.
Yeah, but it's always less than the lowest approximate amount.
That's how they make you use their app. You feel
Probably,
great. Wow,
probably.
It doesn't cost that much. I mean, it's amazing.
I know, but why they always don't want more money, or they, for example, if it's the, I don't know, 860, they will be like, oh, 8 is fine. I don't know. No one before was like this to me. Like, what happened? I don't know. But I'm scared to use taxi now at night because I'm like, someone they're having inner system communicating with each other, these taxi drivers. And someone told them about me.
Sure. Could be.
I don't know. I'm having this very big I actually am like this. That's why I wanted to be a writer since young age, because I could fantasize about anything. Like a small situation, I will imagine in my head
Overthink
5
them
variations of this situation. What could happen if I did this? What could happen if I did that? And every scenario, yeah, had some like event like happening, like something crazy happening in this. It's like, imagine writing a book and making some action there.
Yeah.
That's me basically about my life. I'm like constantly like trying to make 5 variations of the same thing, and I'm like, okay, if I don't do that now, what will happen if I do this? If I don't do this, maybe if I imagine, basically, like, it's freaking crazy to be me, I think. That's what I understand. And living alone is not easy with myself, because that's a job.
That's a great motivation to not live alone. Yep.
Yeah, but
Would you consider yourself extroverted or introverted? Even though now people are saying, hey, I'm partially extroverted and partially introverted, and getting
I am.
people, it's not that complicated.
I don't. For me, what the answers this question is if I get energy from other people or I don't, and I think I get most of the time. Like, I go to work in a place, in a like coffee shop, to get energy from other people working. Yeah. So I assume I still need other people for making myself going. So I'm more extroverted. Even though all my life I thought I am introverted, because I don't like talking to people, new people especially. I don't like to meet people, and I don't like to change the plans. Like, I have this life, for example. I'm used to it, and I don't want to go outside of it, like meet new people, do some new things. For me, this is hard. I do new things, and I love trying new stuff, but it still fits in my life, let's say. It doesn't go outside of the box of the people I know, for example. I'm very open with people I know, but if it has to be related to someone else, like, I don't know, I get really freaked out. I don't know.
I've always seen you as an extroverted person, even though I do recognize that you are.
I am extroverted with you because you are more introverted. So someone should be extroverted, otherwise it's boring.
This is very true. This is very true. Even I myself, I find myself being extroverted.
With
If the
some
person
people.
next to me
Yeah.
is very introverted,
Yeah.
and I would sit there. I'm like, okay, we gotta do something. We can't just sit there and be quiet.
Exactly. It's good even.
It's like you're adopting
different
these
rules.
roles.
Yeah.
I've been even on dates when the girl would be talking a lot, and I just kind of assume the role of the one that supports the conversation, but she's maybe leading the conversation, and I just support it with phrases or
giving some
jokes
bits.
or and then maybe the next time we would meet, and she would be like, "Yeah, last time you barely spoke." Well, how am I supposed to speak if you're the one already constantly speaking? And in her perspective, I am constantly not speaking,
Yeah.
and that's why she's basically forced to speak. And
Yes, that's because it's a silence and you want to fill it up like with something. Usually, I mean, people usually tend to try to fill up the silence with something.
Yes. It's very interesting how it's about perspective, right?
It's funny, I remember first time we met, there was a lot of pause when no one spoke.
Yeah.
I remember it was so awkward. We were sitting on a bench and I'm looking like this in a distance. And you also sit like this. And he just like looking like this. No one says anything. Like, it was so weird. You were a weirdo to me, like when we first met, because I was a weirdo, I think, and we just were like, "What the fuck? Who is supposed to be normal here?"
Yep.
This was so funny.
Yeah.
But you spoke, I remember. So you were more like, but not always. Most of the time, you're not speaking that much.
Yeah, and I think I've always seen you as an extroverted person because you don't have a lot of patience, and if you find yourself in a situation where you're not doing something that you like or that you want to do, you are very willing to just changing it, just moving to something else.
But
And,
that's not extroverting thing.
I
It's
understand.
extroverted thing.
I understand, but still, your desire, your willingness, more likely, your willingness to change something, to try something new, especially trying something new. If I come tomorrow and tell you, "Hey, let's go snowboarding,"
Yes.
the chances of you saying, "Sure, let's do it," are very high.
100%.
The chances of me saying, "Yeah, sure, let's do it," if someone comes and proposes it, are very low.
Really?
Like,
But that's not the trait of introverted or extroverted, because it's about trying new things. It's different from actually being as a person like that.
I've always given that as a trait of extrovert people, being
I'm
able to
not
easily
completely agree.
confront new challenges, new things.
It has the traits of it,
Mhm.
but I don't completely agree, because some extroverted people I know are very not willing to do anything new in their
Really?
lives. Yeah, because
Wow,
they're
that's
like,
interesting.
they're extroverted in their like talking, but they don't try new stuff. They just live this same like circle life, like.
Yeah, now I'm hearing your neighbors coming home, and it is very
Yay.
disturbing.
It
It's
is.
like someone comes into
Imagine
your home.
sleeping.
Yeah.
I wake up sometimes from this shit. This is fucked up.
Well, it is what it is.
But they also hear me, and that's
Of course.
upsetting.
Maybe
I
they
mean,
have the same.
the same, exactly.
Sure.
I'm like, this makes me feel a bit better. Because if they hear the same, I'm like, okay, it's not their fault.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not their fault.
But when I work from home, I work from home. I work from home, and I live alone, so I work a lot, I think. Because this balance of coming home when you have someone you live with, I think you spend some time with this person, or at least you communicate, you have this distraction.
Yeah.
At least I had this when I was in a relationship. We had dinner together. Now I have dinner by myself, and usually I watch TV show or something, and I start working after
Yeah.
for no fucking reason. Like 12 a.m. I'm like, yeah, let me.
A good time, an appropriate time to start working.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Do you find yourself being more willing to work from home lately? I think I've been noticing this.
Yes, this is weird
Since
change.
you started going to the office from time to time, now you kind of, I don't know.
I don't want to go to the coffee shop. This fucking irritates me.
You need time to recover from being in the office or Monday.
For sure. I worked 3 years in a row, not from the office. I didn't see any people.
Yeah.
So I went out to the coffee shop at least to see some people there.
Yeah.
Because it's important to me. Now I see these people 3 times a week and I so much waste my time that I get annoyed by even wasting, like, to get another day to go somewhere to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. I work from home. And I feel so good. I am relaxed. I have my silent, usually, without neighbors.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Do you? You are this type of... Like, you work from home, actually.
Yeah, I still kind of... No, even though I'm very introverted, I find myself going out often. As soon as I get the chance, I tend to go outside.
You see, maybe it's not about being introverted or extrovert.
I think it also has to do, at least when it comes to work, I tend to be very lazy at home. So if you put me in an environment, if I'm between other people, then I kind of find my concentration. But if I'm at home, I get distracted by anything, by a fly passing by. I can get distracted by anything.
And you were living without the internet.
Yes. I think maybe that was my...
How did you work from home without the internet?
No, at that time we had to work from the office.
Oh, yeah.
So I would be at the office all day, then come home and listen to YouTube all day. So, which is very weird, and that's why at some point I decided, okay, I need to kind of concentrate, find my peace of mind. I was doing a lot of meditation during that period, so maybe that kind of gave me the idea to try to find myself, basically. Now, if I explain it like that...
But to find yourself, what do you mean by that?
Well, to find a peace of mind, because if you're constantly doing something, distracting yourself with something, I think at least to a certain extent it means that you're avoiding something.
Yeah.
And now that I'm explaining it this way, it sounds like I didn't enjoy the experience of living alone. Even though it
doesn't sound like
because it sounds like I constantly
wanted
to be between people, right? Because listening to YouTube is like if you're interacting with someone. But I think that was the idea, because the meditation kind of gave me made me reflect on the fact that I actually needed to embrace myself and to kind of
get your shit together.
Find myself, basically. Yeah, absolutely.
Did you?
Much more than in the past, for sure.
You are making impression of a whole person.
Wow.
Yes.
Impressive.
Yeah, I like that in people a lot. When they can stand their ground, when they have some opinions, principles.
Yeah.
I hate people without principles. This makes me so irritated.
I used to be that person. For a long
But you
time.
are
At
still
least I think so.
keeping this, when you disagree, you're still very, like,
I am a
polite.
person that tends to,
let's say. But yeah, it's still very good. You can keep your ground.
It's always a difficult thing to do, because I like to discuss with people. To disagree on certain topics. Just for the sake of it, just to be an asshole. But then again, or maybe sometimes I really think that I think in a different way, or I want to stand my ground on a certain topic. But often I would overdo it, and it kind of ruins the conversation or the relationship, whatever it is. So I always find myself, at least in recent years, I find it difficult to find the right balance okay, what is the right balance between you standing your ground, expressing your own opinions, and overdoing it and kind of just discussing with people too much? And
actually, someone told me the feedback about the podcast.
mm-hmm.
They said that we are agreeing with each other too much. It's
Wow.
like there is no conflict. Because we're like, yeah, it could be. This opinion is valid. You know, we're both like, there is no black and white, some kind of shit like, I know I'm right and you're wrong. We're like, maybe you're right, maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, let me disagree with that person. Fuck that person.
Good. I agree.
Are you agreeing with
Yes.
I like that. I like when you leave the door open to certain possibilities,
I
because
can't
it's not like I
fake
think
it.
it's a
I
little
can't
bit.
fake it to make a conflict out of nothing.
Of course, 100%. But I think that it's a little bit childish behavior to just say, "Oh no, it's either black or it's white." Well, no, the world is much more complicated. I know that we always like to. That's how people we are. We like to simplify things.
Yeah.
We always like to find a simple solution to a certain problem because it helps us.
I think this is a trait of our century. Like the bad thing that is everyone wants to have like life hacks or 10 things you should do.
Oh my goodness, don't make me
God.
start with that. Jesus.
This is a separate topic, but this makes me like, guys, just there is no like a top 10 things you should do before 20 or like I don't know, there is nothing. And a lot of people are like that right now, and I don't know if they understand how much they're manipulated by social media. And our mind in general is manipulated. I have manipulated mind because that's how mind works.
Yes.
But I still kind of keep this thought in my head that I am manipulated. So whatever I think about this, it's not my thoughts. It's someone else's information probably coming. Because if you deep inside yourself, you ask yourself a question, what do I actually think about it? You will probably not have an opinion. You will be probably like, I don't give a shit, or I mean, who cares? I don't know. Some not strong opinion about this. But when you put a label like, oh, feminism is good, this is bad, being, I don't know.
It's made to provoke a reaction, either negative or positive, disagreeing or...
but actually, when you think about it, I mean... Especially I don't want to talk about the war, but this comes to my mind as first thing, because it's so much manipulation and and misinformation.
And it is very polarizing.
Very. People go crazy over this. They change, and I don't understand how they can wish someone dead and all this stuff. This is fine. I mean, they have the right to be like that. I'm just not getting it. I can't get to this level. And I'm just like wondering, how is this fucking possible? And that's what I was scared of when every time I read some, I don't know, not even documentary, like something from a book. If I was reading a book about concentration camps.
Yeah.
I was crying over it, and I was like, fuck, this is what happens now a bit. Just different way.
Yeah.
And this is so frustrating, because this happened already, not only with concentration camps. This happened like every fucking 50 years. We're doing the same thing, and everyone pretends we don't know it.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I mean, what the fuck is this?
It's crazy.
It's a bit frustrating, because maybe that's a good thing, to have no conflict, to not disagree on stuff all the time. Maybe people should unfuck themselves first to not constantly... Because because you have this approach of kind of judging people when you judge yourself, right? I mean, if not consciously, you have this type of thinking that you are like, oh yeah, I am this type of person, I don't deserve it, and that's why I think other people don't deserve stuff. If you don't think you deserve it.
If I put myself in the shoes of whoever told you that, I think it's that sounded much worse than
Whoever told you that.
Yeah, whoever that's
We don't give a shit about you.
I think we have this desire to constantly pick a team. So if you listen to the people talking about something and they're not picking sides, they're not clearly defining, okay, I agree with, I'm on this side or I'm on that side of the argument, it's difficult for you that you're listening to the topic to actually pick a side, pick a team. Okay, I agree with him. I agree with him and she's not right.
Yeah.
But if we both discuss a topic and we're kind of both agreeing or not agreeing on certain stuff, and
you can't really pick a side.
You can't, that
that's
leaves
a good
certain
point.
level of dissatisfaction in you.
Yes, because you're like,
I wanted to listen to this.
now what do I have to do about living alone? Should I think it's good thing or
Maybe
bad
you should
thing?
turn off your internet and live for a year without internet. See how it goes.
Turn off this podcast right now.
Sure.
Because it's interesting. Because you can't pick a side, so you get frustrated from it. Because people want to know answers. They constantly want hacks, life hacks. They want courses. Fucking people selling courses. Like, this makes my brain hurt. That doesn't have actually, physical ability to hurt. It hurts my feelings.
Make a course on how to make a podcast.
Oh my god. I mean, this is so saturated right now. Everyone sells courses. They pass like a course themselves and they sell the course to other people. I know people that, anyway, I won't disclose anyone in particular, but this is such a saturated environment right now with this type of hacks. Like, you should learn, especially a lot of people are obsessed with filling themselves with information. Maybe the search is of no information. Maybe Pelevin was right, because he's having these metaphors about, like, in general, he's like this postmodernist that is trying to criticize modern world and stuff. So he takes these pieces of stuff that exist and makes them funny or reveals them in a way that are ridiculous. And anyway, we constantly get back to this, that maybe Buddhists are right. Maybe we have to, like, sit and just enjoy,
observe,
chill, just be zen. I bought a fucking I bought a domain name Media Zen and Podcast Zen. So we are Zen right now.
Sure.
And I will launch a website with this domain name, and we will have our podcast there. I don't know which Zen I will choose,
what
Media
else
Zen
would
or...
it be on the website? Top 10 reasons why you should live alone. And then the next day, top 10 reasons why you should not live alone.
No, I think the episodes will be auto-uploaded in there, just as a blog post, so
sure.
they are kept in there. Yeah. I mean, I have the domain name and I have a hosting, so I can create a...
You might as well do something.
Make the website, It's simple as that. I paid $300 for the hosting.
Jesus.
Yeah. I have to use it somehow.
Yeah. What happened
feel
with
obliged.
Hosting?
Well, it's relatively cheap because a month it gets to $5 a month or something. So it's kind of paying, like, fucking Strava costs me 15 leva a month.
Oh, don't get me with Strava.
I have to delete this subscription. Why do I still have it? It's useless. Absolutely useless.
They increased the prices recently. There's been a lot of shit going on. Anyway, it's a separate
oh my god, I'm deleting Strava.
Topic.
No, I don't, but still.
Unless they become the sponsor of this podcast,
Yay!
then you're more than welcome, Strava.
I love Strava. Yay. Why it's called Strava? I have no idea.
I don't know.
There's a Ukrainian word Strava, and it means a dish.
I don't think that's that was the inspiration.
A dish, not a plate, but like a dish, like a cuisine thing. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, if I don't know, if someone comes to you and says, I'm finishing university now, and I have to look for an apartment, and I'm wondering whether to live alone.
I actually
or
gave
maybe...
advice like that once.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, not like exactly only about living alone.
Yeah.
But there was this girl. She's actually now popular Bulgarian Instagram blogger.
Nice.
But I won't
Sure.
mention. And she was about to think like, should she start studying in Sofia? And she's having here some relatives and stuff. She would live here.
Okay.
Or to go to study in Paris.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, immediately, Paris.
Really?
Even though it's not the best city for living. I knew about this because I've been there like a few times. But I was like, absolutely, yes, this is a chance for you to grow and separate from your family and being responsible for yourself. And you will maybe eventually get back, but that's it's traumatizing, but you have to be... Actually, that's the thing about life in general. I understood this morning when I had to wake up at 7 a.m. to go to workout. This was my decision. My plan at 2 a.m.
Yeah,
and I was like, I will fucking stick with this shit. You know, there's this always in my brain. I'm like, I'm either sticking with my plan or I fuck it up.
Yeah.
And it's only up to me to decide, am I fucking this up or
Very
I'm
much
actually
true.
sticking to the
Very
plan.
much
And it hurts to wake up at 7 a.m. after you slept like 3 hours or 4.
Sure, yeah.
But I did it and I feel fucking happy about this. Because I'm like, that's it. Every day I prove to myself my mind is my power. Not fucking what other people say to me. Or what my schedule at work tells me that I have to start working at 9. Whatever. I can wake up at 5. I cannot sleep at all.
Sure.
That's my life.
You're not gonna do it tomorrow again, but it's a good point. I like
Why not? I loved it.
I love
actually.
your passion about that.
I am very passionate, and after this, the same not passionate about stuff.
You're the most polarizing person I know.
I love it.
You get super excited. You go from 1 to 100 in 3 seconds, and then the next...
I lose the interest.
Oh yeah,
I'm like,
absolutely.
fuck it.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. That's bad, actually. Maybe I'm on this roller coaster of constantly doubting my own opinion.
You do.
Because I'm like, I love it, and after I'm like, do I actually love it? Yeah. Am I? I literally think, am I ugly today? Or I'm beautiful? And I'm like, 5 minutes ago I'm ugly, and after 5 minutes I'm like, well, not that much. I'm still fine. You know? And it's constantly like thinking from really bad to really good. And I'm like, sometimes I'm like, I'm so perfect. And what the fuck is this in my brain? Like, I constantly do this.
I've noticed that several times. You tend to doubt yourself immediately, like 1 minute after saying a certain belief, and you're like immediately, well, actually, no.
That's how my brain works. I constantly look for proofs. Like, I'm like criticizing my own
beliefs, and yeah.
It's fucked up. I don't have any, I guess, because of that. They're not constant. Because even beliefs, but that's the thing.
Wait.
I play with my mind. That's about this waking up in the morning. One day I'm like, yeah, I wake up in the morning. Next day I'm like, I have to relax. I have to chill. And this is the same me. Like,
yeah.
And I'm like convinced about that.
The
same level. I'm like 100%.
Imagine if it was that easy to change apartments or living alone and living with someone. You would be changing apartments every week.
100%. I would. That's why I plan to live in 2 countries, and I plan to be like, oh yeah, I want to live in Spain, but actually I want to live here as well.
Yeah.
And I'm
but
like,
also Portugal might be.
Portugal is a good idea. Actually, London is not bad, but people are not so good. And I'm like always like this, like, oh yeah, I should maybe go to Finland. My recent thought. Or I should go back to my village in Ukraine as well.
Save some money. Yeah.
No, it's not about even saving money. I will just live there.
You'll find a way to spend them again.
Look,
anyway.
My brain is like, I don't give a fuck anymore about this planet. I want to enjoy it. And perfect way to enjoy it is to live in my village, grow some sheep, I don't know, be a sheep person. Like, you know, these people, how they're called? Shepherds.
Shepherds, yeah.
they live amazing lives. They walk all fucking day in nature. They enjoy their day. They meditate all the fucking time.
Did you see the story about the guy that was in prison and managed to escape by dressing himself like a sheep, but he got caught midway. Yeah. He was already outside the prison. Shit. He got caught. Yeah, basically I saw a picture. The upper half of his body, the torso was basically it looked very believable, like a sheep. But then he had just his legs. It was like, that's a very weird sheep.
How did he make the costume? Like,
I have no idea. I didn't read. I was too busy to laugh at the picture and the title of the article and sharing it already with people that I didn't bother to read the actual
Yeah, sometimes this happens to me as well. Yeah. I get too excited. Do you notice with age, like we have this 10 years gap, let's say, almost.
Thank you.
Do you notice like the difference in living alone at this age and at your age? When you were my age, did you live like similar lifestyle as you are now, or you were like me?
So when I was your age, I just moved to Sofia and started living alone after several years.
Really, my age, like 25?
24, yeah, late 24, okay. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, before that I lived with in university with other people. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but I do think that there's a difference. From a certain perspective, it's much more socially acceptable to live alone when you're 24.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you're 30, how old am I? 33, almost 33.
Jesus age.
Now. From a social perspective, it's much more difficult to, if you care about the social opinion, and I think to a certain extent we all do, even if we pretend to say that we don't. It's much more unacceptable to be living alone.
Oh, yeah.
So from that perspective, there's a difference. From what you actually do on day-to-day basis, you do the same basic stuff. So I don't think there's much difference, practical difference, in living alone when you were 25 and living alone when you were 31, 2, 3, whatever. So yeah, I don't think it's that much difference.
Yeah, I think people stop changing around like 23, 24. I mean, a lot changing.
Sure, because when you're younger, you start experimenting and you try to kind of find yourself and see, okay, I like this and I don't like that, and etc., etc. And then with time, you start to put much more energy into the things that you do like, and you're much more willing to say no to stuff that you're not enjoying. If someone comes and says, hey, let's go out tonight, you might be like, hey, I don't feel like going out today. I'll stay home. So you feel much more certain and secure in standing your own ground, basically. But something that I do think is different is that in today's age, in 2023, young people tend to grow much, much faster. So at 20 years old is much more kind of grown up than at 20 years old from 10 years ago. Because of the internet. I thought it's
the opposite.
Mainly. Really?
Yes.
I think the access
people
to
are
internet
naive
makes
and
you grown up early.
No. My opinion is, actually we have a conflict. Here you go. I mean, I will agree with you at the end. I will say, yeah, maybe you're right. But let me disagree first. So I think people now are a bit not naive. What was this word for? Childish. Like they're not really facing a real world.
This is also true because internet allows you to stay alone, to avoid social interactions.
But how do they actually get grown up? Like
Well,
You grow up with experiences in your life.
well, because just seeing things on the internet makes you to a certain extent experience them, or at least you think that you have experienced
But
them.
what
So
about
you
reading
gain
books?
knowledge through the internet.
Yeah, but when you read books as a teenager, we used to read books.
Well, I didn't.
Well,
I was too busy.
Let's imagine.
Doing bullshit. Yeah.
Still, we were still consuming information, and I don't think.
Yeah, but it's not a real life information. It's about.
What do you mean by real life information?
Things happening in real time, basically. If I go on social media, I see people doing stuff right now, today, yesterday. If I read a book,
and does this make me a more grown-up person?
Well, it makes you experience life right now to a certain extent, as much as you can experience it kind of from the outside through the internet.
Oh, wow. That's too deep thought for me right now.
Yeah, or maybe I'm just doing
maybe
a poor
it's
job
a bullshit,
in explaining it. Yeah. Well, thank you.
But yeah, I agree that there is a difference in age. Well, you live alone. Because when I lived in a dorm, I still find similar stuff that happens. I still get compulsive about stuff. I do stupid things. But I'm more okay with that. It's not the end of the world if I do something wrong. Because I'm like, yeah, I've done it already 10 times. I'm alive.
It's about perspective. Yeah.
You already that's know what that the experience kind of makes you be like, yeah. I stop worrying about what other people think. I'm like, fuck it. I said the stupid thing in the office about something. Let's not specify. And I'm like, well, no one first of all pays attention. Everyone thinks about themselves. This is what I learned, I think, a lot with age. I really, and you should be, maybe I'm impatient with things like that directly affect my life, my everyday life, but I'm very patient with other people. Like, if they don't make any difference in my life, like if I can leave, I don't know, working at a job that is, I'm not fully happy about it, but I'll be patient enough to keep a conversation with the boss, for example, and be like, yeah, you're so smart, like kind of trying to make it work in a way. And it's some weird skill I have to survive, I guess. Because if I was everywhere like compulsive like that, I wouldn't survive much. Because I have these thoughts, but I push them away. Like, I literally want to say stuff, but I'm like, no, you're not saying anything. Give yourself a few hours. And after a few hours, I'm like chill about the same thing that happened, for example. I don't know. So
you're able to be chill with other people's behavior than
with my own? No. For no. I mean, I'm chiller because I'm like, yeah, I've done this many times, like about deadlines or about work. Yeah, I've been working in this field for 3 years and I didn't fuck up. People still want to work with me. So I'm like, well, if I don't do it tonight, I'm just telling myself, well, I will do it next morning and no one will give a shit, you know? I just actually thinking about this. I have to do something, but it's fucking 9 p.m. and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I have to launch fucking ads for 7 a.m. UK time. And I'm like, 7 a.m. UK time is actually 9 a.m. my time, which fucking means I can do it tomorrow morning.
Sure.
Why do I have to? And it's a lot of things like that. It's
easy
easy resolution. You just fucking stop caring about stuff. And everyone is like that, I think. Most of the people are not responsible. They're irresponsible. They don't care about their jobs. They hate their jobs. Anyway, we're moving to jobs things. Let's make a kind of a conclusion from this about personal growth, self-discovery, and stuff like that. when you live alone, because you get like independent, you have this sense of, I don't know, reliance to yourself, that you trust yourself with your life. I don't know, because you kind of rely only on yourself when you live alone.
This is true. This is true. However, it certainly helps you grow. It certainly helps you adopt responsibilities, and it forces you to take care of stuff and of yourself.
Yeah.
However, if we are looking at this, if the ultimate perspective, if the ultimate goal is obviously to maybe have a family, live with someone, even if you don't have a family, just to live with a partner, then having first a roommate might be a very useful experience, because you learn to deal with, to co-live with someone, to deal with someone else's needs, whatever it is, on day-to-day basis. Even if it's just about cleaning, it could sound like an easy thing to handle. Well, maybe not that easy.
It is. And in general, well, I don't know if being with someone learns you about yourself. So self-discovery happens through other people a lot of times.
True, very much true.
And self-discovery when you live alone is still related to other people, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how you can discover something in yourself when you're... I just imagine myself lying in bed and chilling, like reading a book, for example. I understand about myself right now at the moment, and I understand about myself probably, but not as a person. I don't judge myself as a person when I'm alone. Like, I'm like, okay, this is me. I am this, but I would never try to dig into that. I don't know. But living alone makes me just love myself better.
Really?
Because you treat yourself. Like, I like making food for myself.
Sure. If you want to have a martini at 2 a.m., you have your martini at 2 a.m.
Yes.
Fine. Yeah.
That's really
you
good.
want to wake up to train at 6 a.m.? You train at 6 a.m.
Exactly. Yes. This is the freedom you have. And this makes you kind of free from other people's opinions. Like, that's how you can kind of identify. Yeah. You can just understand yourself better in a way by doing the stuff you want.
Yes, of course.
Not living when you live with someone.
It's like you're testing and you're trying. Okay, I like this thing suits me, this thing doesn't suit me. I see it as a necessary experience. However, not forever. Loneliness? I think loneliness, difficult word to pronounce. I think it's part of life. You should learn to embrace it. You cannot avoid it.
You can be lonely with other people.
Of course.
To other people.
Of course.
And I feel less lonely right now. For some reason, like I after a breakup, I was very lonely. And now I feel better. I'm like I finding my own power. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm not relying on anyone else. This is me and the world. And I either win or lose. I always lose because you die.
Oh, come on.
Obviously. I mean, let's finish this with something positive. I'm
sure.
Just trying to make it like, you grow as a person.
You do grow. If you want to, you can be a miserable fuck living alone. Of course, you can be. What's the name? The Great Gatsby. You can be that guy if you want to. But yeah.
Do whatever you wanna do.
Feel like doing. Yeah.
You can try living alone. You can stop living alone if you want to. Like, that's it. No conflict.
Well. Actually, no, just kidding.